Call the meeting to order. I have a roll call, please, for the Drainage District Board of Directors meeting.
David Fuentes, Precinct 1.
Eddie Cantu, Precinct 2.
Joe Flores, Precinct 3.
Eli Torres, Precinct 4.
Rich Cortez, County Judge. That constitutes a quorum. Mr. Assim, may we have our prayer?
Yes, sir. Thank you very much, Judge. Let us pray. Father God, again, we give you thanks, Lord, for another day that you provided us to serve, Lord. We continue to lift up this elected officials that you've appointed, Lord, the judge and 4 commissioners to lead this great county of ours. We continue to pray for them. We continue to ask for your wisdom upon them, Lord, your guidance, and more importantly, your hand of peace over the decisions when they make them, Lord. Continue just to provide your same wisdom for myself, Lord, for the rest of the leadership of this great county, Lord, for our workers as well. Watch over them, Lord. Just bless us with abundance, grace, mercy, and love, Lord. I ask all this in your Son, Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Do we have any people sign up for open forum?
Yes, sir. We do have one participant under Drainage District, Selena Hernandez. Please remind the audience there is a 3-minute time limit. I will advise when there is 1 minute, and I ask the audience to please respect the speaker's time at the podium.
Buenos días. Mi nombre es María Hernández. Vengo de la colonia El Yey.
You want to bring down the microphone so that. Thank you.
Buenos días. Mi nombre es Celina Hernández. Vengo de la colonia El Yey. Entrando el año, fueron los comisionados a ver lo que faltaban por las mejoras de la colonia. Ya se nos conectó el drenaje, ya está funcionando, gracias a ustedes, y a la Comisión de Agua Potable también. Y han estado yendo para qué es lo que nos surge también, que también quiero decirles que las lagunas que hicieron ahí en la colonia para el desagüe cuando llueve ya están muy, necesitan excavar más. Queríamos saber si por medio de ustedes vuelven a trabajar ahí para que ya no se inunde la colonia. Esta vez que llovió, gracias a Dios no hubo agua, pero otras colonias sí quedaron inundadas. Nosotros, gracias a Dios, estuvimos bien. Queremos darle las gracias y que sigan trabajando para la colonia, ¿verdad? Y muy agradecidos con ustedes. Gracias.
To translate, she said, "Good morning. My name is Maria Celina Hernandez, and I come from Colonia El Yey in Alamo. At the beginning of the year, we were very grateful to be in communication with Commissioner Fuentes' office. And recently, last month, they paid us another visit to continue talking about the work we had talked about that meeting. And we wanted to ask the drainage ditch next to our colonia has filled up in the last few times that there's been rain, there's been heavy rain. And so we wanted to see if it was possible to dig those deeper so that we have more protection against flooding. And again, we're very thankful and hoping that we can continue to work together. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
That's all we have.
Okay. We'll go to the next part of our agenda with the approval of the consent agenda. And I will be before
Yes,
that,
sir.
I just have a quick question.
Yes, sir.
On item 6A, the approval of 3 engineering fees. Did I read together that we had 1 approval and 1 rejection in the documents?
On item 6A, on invoice number 1, the amount of $21,000, is that on the consent, sir?
Yes, on the consent.
Not that I'm aware, sir. Everything's in order for that payment. That's the only payment that we're processing. I'm not aware of any.
You usually have 2 people that approve, right, or 1?
Oh, I apologize. You're talking about the internal, I guess, approval process?
Yes.
Yeah, well, we have our engineers that sign off of it, and then obviously our staff accounting that puts it on, that reviews everything, gets approval from myself as well to make sure everything's in order to put it on. So if that's what you're referring to, Judge, I don't know if there wasn't a signature on this one, or is that what you're referring to?
Well, you have 2 people that are approvers, and 1 says approve, the other one says reject. I was just wondering.
Not aware who rejects.
If I misread it, It sounds like I maybe misread it.
No, I'm not aware of it being rejected, sir, that I'm aware of.
Okay.
And we'll look into it. If you want to wait on that, sir, we can definitely pull it, but I don't believe there's anything to reject there. Everything's in order for that payment.
Okay.
It's one of our projects that we have on 2018 bond referendum, so I'm not aware of anything being rejected on the payment.
Okay.
We'll look
I
into it,
wanted to
sir, but
clarify.
yeah, but I'm certain that everything's in order, because everything gets vetted through my engineering department, and then it goes to accounting, and then they ask for my approval to put it on the agenda, so I sign off on it as well.
Okay. I have a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you, sir. We'll get that clarified,
Okay.
sir. If I may, item 5A, presentation, discussion, and meeting with Texas Commission on Environmental Quality regarding Delta Region Water Management Project and Riverville Drain Restore Act funding. Just wanted to brief the board and the public. Last week, traveled to Austin, and we met with the TCQ Water Division with our consultant, Half & Associates, regarding the Delta Region Water Management Project, just to request that they assign a team to us as we continue down the development path of this project. We're obviously very much excited about the the opportunity to have reuse water there. So it was just to meet with the team in TCEQ and to start that communication process, present the project to them. They were very receptive, and they said would continue to work with us. They did assign some team members to us, so that was a good information and good feedback. We also met with, or I met with the legal team for TCQ, which is the agency that's managing the monies from the Treasury. Very positive feedback from them. The money has flowed to TCQ, and we're in the process of developing the agreement that has to be executed, sub-recipient agreement that has to be executed between us and TCQ to eventually receive the $7 million Restore Act funding. So that will be forthcoming here shortly. We provided some information that they wanted regarding how we developed the cost for the cleaning that we're going to do in-house and so forth. It was a very productive meeting as well, so that's ongoing. Once we get it, we'll get with legal counsel on it and start that process of hopefully executing that by the end of the year. So we're hopeful that that funding will come to us by the end of the year, beginning next year, which will allow us to clean the existing footprint in Rainbow Drain, which has some impact to Hidalgo, but a great benefit to Willacy County, especially in the areas that were heavily inundated this last event. So I just want to keep the board up to date on what's happening on those two projects. So very productive meetings that I had. If I may, sir, I'll go to B.
Yes, sir.
Resolution in support of the United States Army Corps of Engineers proposed submittal of a proposed study entitled Lower Rio Grande Valley Flood Risk Management and Resilience Project to the United States Congress under Section 7001 of the Water Resource Reform Development Act 2014. Is in there the resolution?
While he's getting that resolution, Commissioner Torres and I met with Cameron County, Willacy County, UTRGV as part of the, not part of the Water Task Force, but it's pretty much a representation of the Water Task Force. We're trying to jointly apply for a $6 million project that would be a study, a tri-county study, tri-county study with respect to hydraulics and water movements and water flows so that we can better understand and better design our drainage systems. The local participation is roughly $3 million. At this point in time, it's not necessarily that we're going to allocate our portion of that project amount, but just so that we have a clear understanding of what our obligation would be if we're awarded or able to participate in this grant. We believe this has a tremendous value to our area, to our region, allows us to provide more studies and research with respect to understanding water flows. We hope and anticipate that this will be funded by some sort of means of a grant, and hopefully not out of general funds, but there is no commitment right now of any monies from our general fund or any other monies at this point in time. We have Cameron County that we expect to pass the same resolution today, and we expect Willacy County to do the same. So we're hoping that we can do a regional project with the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers. Again, the value of the study being roughly $6 million for our area.
If I may, I'll read it for the record. Be it resolved that on the 30th day of July 2019, the Alcoa County Drainage District Number 1 Board convened in regular session, and the following item was placed on the agenda of said board for such meeting pursuant to the Government Code Section 551041. Vernon's Texas Civil Statutes, the Texas Open Meetings Act to be considered, discussion and approval of a resolution in support of the United States Army Corps of Engineers, submittal of a proposed study entitled Lower Rio Grande Valley Flood Risk Management and Resilience Project to the United States Congress under Section 7001 of the Water Resource Reform and Development Act 2014, whereas Section 7001 of the WARDA 2014, as amended, requires that the Secretary of the Army annually submit to the Congress a report that identifies for potential congressional authorization completed feasibility reports, proposed feasibility studies submitted by non-federal interests, proposed modifications to authorized water resource development project or feasibility studies, and proposed modifications to environmental infrastructure program authorities. And whereas the annual report to Congress on future water resource development is to be based in part upon annual requests for proposals for authorization from non-federal interests. The proposal period for the 2020 report to Congress opened on April 2019 for 120 days. The deadline for proposals is August 27, 2019. And whereas Cameron, Hidalgo, and Willacy counties, in coordination with the Lower Rio Grande Development Council, Regional Water Resource Advisory Committee, and the Rio Grande Valley, Texas Stormwater Task Force, a coalition comprised of 26 local governments, do seek to submit this proposal to develop a holistic regional hydrological, hydraulic, and watershed characterization for inclusion in the annual report to Congress on future water resource development. And whereas the 3 counties that constitute the core of the Lower Rio Grande Valley Development Council service area are narrowly avoided major impact by Hurricane Harvey. These counties did, however, suffer significant damage during the floods of June 2018 and 2019. Exhibit A is a white paper that describes the USAC regional initiative to address systematic and repeated flooding, water quality impairments, and ecological degradation, with Lower Grande Valley being in a holistic and integrated fashion. And whereas it funded, the primary sponsor is Cameron County, and whereas it funded, the co-sponsor include the Army Corps of Engineers, Dow County, Willacy County, and the task force. And now, therefore, be resolved that the Dow County Drainage District Number 1 wishes to support the submittal of the proposed USAC project to the U.S. Congress under Section 7001 of the Water Act to address flood planning, mitigation, infrastructure projects in Cameron County and the Lower Rio Grande Valley. Passed and approved, adopted this 30th day of July 2019 by the County Drainage District Number 1 Board of Directors.
I have a motion to approve.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
One more last thing with respect to this. We also anticipate that in the future, FEMA and the federal government will be requiring this type of study in order to award monies for disaster areas. So if you don't have the plan in place, they may be able to restrict monies that flow to our area. So we believe this is a very proactive approach to making sure that that study gets done beforehand. Thank you we're also going to bring this up in the regular agenda for Commissioners Court, because we want to make sure that both entities are covered just in case the award goes through the county as opposed to the drainage district. Thank you.
Okay. Yes, sir. Thank you. If I may, item 5C, there will be no action on that today. Item 5D, request and approval of final negotiated service agreement number C, HDD 119-058-0730 with B2Z Engineering LLC as it relates to professional geotech service on call on as needed basis. Dow County Drainage District Number 1 project subject to legal review, approved for negotiation by the Board of Directors on July 1st, 2019.
Move for approval.
Second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you. Item 5E, request and approval of final negotiated professional service agreement number CHDD 119-060-0730 with Millennium Engineers Group, Inc. as it relates to professional geotech service on on-call as-needed basis for Dow County Drainage District Number 1 project subject to legal review, approved for negotiation by the Board of Directors July 1st, 2019.
Approval.
Second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you. Item F, requesting approval to accept bid and approval to execute a requirement agreement with the sole responsible vendor submitting a bid meeting all specified requirements for RFP number ACDD 119-048-0529, gasoline and diesel on and off highway, subject to legal review and compliance, House Bill 1295.
Approval.
There was a second.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you. Item G, requesting authority to advertise and approval of procurement packet, a legal notice, specifications, draft contract, et cetera, as attached here to for Dow County Drainage District Number 1, concrete mix and related items, RFP number ACDD 119-062-0821, including the re-advertisement of the project in the event bids are rejected or no bids are received and project is still required.
Move for approval.
Second.
All those in favor say aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you. Item H, approval of the Dow County Drainage District 1 investment policy. Would you like to help them all collectively? It's the same.
Please.
Item 2, approval of resolution Texas Class Lone Star Investment Pool and Multi-Bank Securities, Inc. Item 3, approval of broker deal list 2019. It's the same policy that we have in place following the county lead. Our county treasurer is the one that does our investment for us, so everything's in place. Or everything's in order as far as the same policy that we have.
Move for approval on H1 through 3.
Second.
Who helped you develop a broker-dealer list?
Ms. Laura? I have my CFO here also.
Sure.
Judge.
Hello, Alfredo Zamarripa with the County Treasurer's Office. This list is pretty much what we have in place. We need to bring it before the board in this case and Commissioners Court to get approved. What we normally do is we reach out to certain broker dealers to see if they like to do business with the county in regards to investments.
And the broker-dealers list that you got, I'm just trying to get an idea as to where you went to for this. Is it locally, state of Texas?
Locally in the state of Texas.
And normally the district follows what the county, whatever agencies the county invests with, will follow the same.
Okay.
Is Lone Star National Bank one of them?
Yes.
Please give me the heads up whenever you see them.
Okay, I apologize.
No problem.
Okay, we have a motion to approve. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
I abstain, Judge.
There's an abstention by Commissioner Cantu.
Okay. Did you get that?
Judge, we did, just to go back to the item that was on consent, we did confirm our accountant just
Okay, I was going to give this to Jaime. This
made,
is,
yeah, Jaime has it.
Did you see the approved?
Yeah, Mr. Alvaro
objection?
Chuk, which is our accounting supervisor, he said it's approved, but it was just erroneously typo on there.
All right.
We apologize for that.
No problem. I just want to make sure I read it correctly.
Yes, sir.
All right, next item.
Yes, sir. Item 6A, approval of budget amendment for advance transfers from general fund to capital projects fund 134, 2019 bond series in the amount of $2,534,047.13.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Item 6A2, approval of budget amendment appropriate 2019 bond series project in the amount of $84,017,204.20.
So moved.
Second.
And you all approved that really quick for 84 minutes.
We're just receiving the money. Obviously, the bulk of the money is going to be moved to an account as we keep our projects on schedule. We'll be investing a good bit of it by the beginning of next year with a lot of projects going to construction. You know, we've been very active in developing a lot of projects, so we're moving efficiently and trying to get all these projects in the ground very quickly. So we'll be investing that money pretty quickly.
That's good. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you. Item 7A, approval to issue payment on the following items proceeding review and compliance, contract terms and conditions, General Drainage Project Improvement, application payment number 8 in the amount of $16,167.72 from Castle Enterprises LLC pertaining to construction contract number HCD 1-18-020-0508 J09 Drainage Improvements Phase 3. Everything's in order.
So moved.
Second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you. 7B, requesting approval to accept bids and award construction contract lowest and best bidder meeting all specified requirements. RFP number HCD 1-19-054-0703 Willacy County Relief Channel Overflow Structure Improvements to RDH Site and Concrete LLC for the base bid in the total amount of $70,300 as recommended by HCD 1 engineer from my office. Everything's in order.
Where is this located?
This is our diversion channel, our ACE channel in Willacy County, where our main goes and turns northerly. There's a diversion channel that flows southeasterly into IBWC. So it's a concrete, basically a concrete overflow structure that's existing in place. When the water rises, we send water into that diversion channel into the IBWC floodway. So we're repairing that, reconstructing it, basically.
Move for approval. Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you. Item B2, pursuant to Texas Local Government Code 262031 and in the interest of expediting the project's progress, of course, authority to approve for Drainage General Manager to execute change orders that involve an increase or decrease in the cost of $50,000 or less, and no event to exceed the change order statutory limit. Original contract may not be decreased by 18% or more without the consent of the contractor.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Thank
Can I
you.
ask you a question real quick
Yes,
about
of
that?
course,
'Cause
sir.
Your language on here says 18% or more without the consent of the contractor. What about the consent of the board?
The board, yeah, well, any type of change that we do, we'd have to bring it to the board. I don't have the authority to even go beyond that statutory limits that we have, so.
But the contract is $70,000 and the change order threshold you put here is $50,000. That's, almost 100% of the
Well,
contract.
and that's why it says statutory limits, because we can't go over the 25%. So we would limit under that percentage. It's the standard language that's in the local government code, but at the same time, it says statutory limits. So, for example, we couldn't go over 25% of the 70,000 or, whatever, the 70,300, sir. Yeah, we would always keep it under that.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Cecine,
Yes, sir.
wouldn't we want it to be a match? I mean, if we can't decrease them by 18%, shouldn't we also say we can't go over by 18% instead of 25%?
Well, my understanding is it's a legal language, it's a statutory language that we follow based on the local government code that's already established that language. I don't think we're creating the percentages of 25 and 18. That's already in place.
Okay.
But I can have legal review further, but that we do have, that's been my understanding from all the work that I've ever done. The statutory limits are there at that percentage.
And so just to be give legal counsel the appropriate direction is, what we want to avoid is the change orders that come in that affect the contract because somebody significantly underbid the project and really are relying on change orders to get to the dollar they want. So that's, I think, the big concern. I'm not sure if that's
Correct.
going.
Absolutely.
Okay, we already voted on that. Next item, 7C.
Item C, approval to issue payment in the following items: proceeding review and compliance, contract terms and conditions. Approval of application payment number 2 in the amount of $88,966.51 from Filigona Site Contractors pertaining to construction contract number ACD 1-18-060-12-11, Precinct 4, RCW subdivision drainage improvements. Everything's in order.
Second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you. Item 8A, requesting authority to advertise and approval of plans and specifications developed by Mr. Salivad from my office, Trenton Day Phase 3 drainage improvements, RFP number ACD 1-19-063-0821, including the advertisement of the project. In the event no bid response are received and or rejected, the project is still required.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you. Item 9A, requesting acceptance and approval of donation deed from Jennifer Collins Stones, James W. Collins Jr., Courtney C. Collins, Carolyn Collins Badeau, Vannie C. Collins, Kathleen Collins, Carol Dalton, Samuel Dalton, Lorraine Dalton, Kathleen Dalton, and William Dalton as it relates to La Reserva Phase 1A subdivision. Authorize the board chair to execute acceptance.
So moved.
All those in favor say aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
We do have a couple of small items in it.
Pursuant to Chapter 551 of the Texas Government Code, Sections 551.071 and 551.072, we will be retiring to closed session to discuss those items. We will take action in open session on our return. Okay, we're back from closed session to open session.
Thank you, sir.
Are there any action items to be taken?
Island 11A, real estate acquisition, nothing to report. Pending potential litigation, we'll proceed as directed on that item.
Well, we will recommend that the board take action on the 2 pending or contemplated litigation matters that were discussed in the closed session, that the board authorize legal counsel to proceed as directed.
You need a motion for that?
Yes.
So move.
Second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. I believe that concludes our
Yes, sir.
agenda items.
Thank
Meeting
you.
is adjourned. I'd like to call the meeting of the Hidalgo County Commissioners Court to order. May I have a roll call, please?
David Fuentes, Precinct 1.
Eddie Gunter, Precinct 2.
Joe Flores, Precinct 3.
Eli Torres, Precinct 4.
Richard Cortez, County Judge. That constitutes a quorum. As we're honored here today to have Ms. Norma Harlow, a deputy clerk in the county clerk's office, joining us to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Ms. Harlow served from 1999 to 2003 and retired as a petty officer 2, second class in the U.S. Navy. Thank you for your service.
Thank you. I pledge allegiance to the flag of United States of America
and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you.
Let us pray. Lord, inspire us today with the qualities of good leadership. Give insight to make wise decisions, integrity to face the truth, courage to make difficult choices, and compassion for the needs of others. Make us a model of justice and honor in the world. And let us not forget that our job is to serve both you and others. Amen.
Amen.
Next item is the approval of the consent agenda. Are there any items to be pulled from the consent agenda?
Yes, sir, if I may, if we could please pull consent agenda item 10A1, 2, and 10B, and consent agenda items 11A and 11E.
Move for approval without those items.
Second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
I will start with consent agenda item 11A. For the record, we will be providing the current accord certificate to the auditor's office, as well as attaching it to the consent agenda.
Move for approval.
Second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
And 11E, for the record, we will, the accord certificate of liability insurance was erroneously posted for the drainage instead of the county. We will make that correction, and it will be the accord certificate of liability insurance for the county that will be attached to the agenda backup and provided to the auditor's office.
Move for approval with that accommodation.
Is there a second? Second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
And consent agenda item 10A1 and 2 and 10B, for the record, Commissioner Fuentes is abstaining from any discussion and/or action on this items.
So moved. Second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Let the record show that Commissioner Fuentes abstained from this action. Is that it, Valde?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Item 5, a proclamation declaring July 30th, 2019 as
Good
World
morning.
Day.
Good morning, Judge Commissioners. Julia Benita Sullivan with Public Affairs, representing our District Attorney, Ricardo Rodriguez Jr. Item 5A is a proclamation declaring July 30th, 2019 as World Day Against Trafficking in Persons in Hidalgo County. And if I can ask the people who are here for this proclamation to go ahead and join me and stand up here. Our speaker's right here. Please come on. Just make your way up here. Sir, may I go ahead and start reading the proclamation while
Yes,
they're
please.
getting settled? Okay. Whereas World Day Against Trafficking in Persons provides an opportunity for Hidalgo County to renew our commitment in combating human trafficking in all its forms. And whereas human trafficking tears at our social fabric, fuels violence and organized crime, and debases our common humanity. And whereas human trafficking is a global tragedy, combating it requires international, national, state, and local action. There are an estimated 40.3 million victims of human trafficking worldwide. And whereas the Hidalgo County Criminal District Attorney's Office is working with national, state, regional, and local stakeholders to fight against human trafficking and to provide assistance to victims of human trafficking. And whereas the Hidalgo County Criminal District Attorney's Office is hereby dedicated to strengthening victims and survivors in the aftermath of this terrible crime, building resilience in our communities and our victim responders, and working for justice for all victims and survivors. And whereas we must join together as a community in Hidalgo County to provide that safe haven by protecting victims and prosecuting traffickers, with improved victim identification, medical and social services, training for our first responders, and increased public awareness of the men, women, and children who have suffered this scourge, they can overcome the bonds of modern slavery, receive protection and justice, and successfully reclaim their rightful independence. And whereas the Rio Grande Valley Anti-Human Trafficking Task Force calls on every single person in our community to report human trafficking and join prevention efforts. Now therefore, Hidalgo County Commissioners Court proclaims July 30th, 2019 as World Day Against Trafficking in Persons in Hidalgo County, presented this 30th day of July, 2019.
Move for approval.
Second. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you. Judge, Commissioners, good morning. And thank you again for your support, not only today, but for your continued support and the important matters that not only the DA's office is involved in, but as you can see, so many other agencies and law enforcement and agencies that deal directly, as we are here today, on human trafficking. And what you've done is not only have you recognized, human trafficking and bringing awareness and letting people know of what's going on, not only in our community, but also worldwide. Today we stand worldwide with everyone else in celebrating and recognizing human trafficking, the great work that, not only the great work that people do in trying to prevent and bring awareness and stop human trafficking, but also to tell those individuals that are out there, not only in our communities, but all over the state and all over the world, that there are people who are doing what they can to stop human trafficking. And I must say that, again, without your support and without everyone's support that is here today, it's taking some years to be able to build this team together, again, all across, from law enforcement agencies to different advocates and obviously a lot of individuals from our office. And with your support, we've been able to bring that awareness and that prevention, and more important, in our county today. So again, we thank you. We thank you, and again, I thank the collaboration where so many individuals have come forward and have participated so much and have done so much work, not only in preventing human trafficking, but again, in preventing and bringing awareness to so many things that are going on in our county. At this time, I'd like to pass it over to Marisa, who's the president or the chair of the Rio Grande Valley Anti-Human Trafficking Coalition that we have, and I'd like for her to say a few words.
Good morning, Judge and Commissioners. Thank you for allowing us to be here today. My name is Marisa Cano. I'm representing the task force. Just a little bit of history on the task force. We've been around for the past, in November, it'll be 2 years. We've grown. We have about 60 to 70 people who attend the meetings on a monthly basis. So at this time, I'd like to say thank you very much to all the task force members, for those who give themselves selflessly on a daily basis, come out to the meetings and advocate and do what they can to show their passion for what we believe in. Thank you for your support, and thank everyone in here for your support as well. Thank you.
Good morning, Judge, Commissioners. Thank you as well. You've been a big support of our victims unit and the efforts that we do, not just in the services that we provide to victims, but also in the prevention education that we provide for our community. Today, I want to recognize some of the agencies that are here present today that are part of the Anti-Human Trafficking Task Force. And they've been part of this group for the past 2 years, and they've been actively doing prevention work and investigation and other types of services for the type of cases that are coming through our county. We have in attendance the Hidalgo County Sheriff's Office, the Huesaco PD and Chief Joel Rivera, Peñitas PD, Sullivan City PD, Hidalgo PD, Mujeres Unidas, BCFS, HIDA, Child Protective Services, Family Life Solutions, the Rio Grande Valley Empowerment Zone, Constable Gaitan. And then from our office, we have the Victims Unit, the Civil Division, Domestic Violence Unit, and the Human Trafficking Unit. We also have Constable Precinct 5, the McCain Institute, And then we have Ms. Marla Martinez with the Deaf and Hard of Hearing community that are present today also attending this event with us. And so we want to thank all the agencies that not just collaborate now in the proclamation, but that have been with us for the past 2 years trying to form this team of victim service providers, law enforcement, prosecutors, and any nonprofit community-based agency that's out there providing services to our victims. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Judge, Commissioners, thank you again. Without your support, we couldn't be able to do everything that we've done in these years. And by allowing us to operate and by allowing us to be able to create a crime victims unit and a court advocate unit, it's given us the opportunity to reach out to all the communities in our county and bring them in and also lead in the same efforts for the same cause and to better our community. So thank you very much. Okay,
Well,
God bless you all. Thank you.
We thank you for your service. Human trafficking is a tremendous tragedy. But please join us for a
Thank you.
picture so we
Thank
can
you.
publicize this.
Chief, thank you for being here.
And I hate to have the payroll of the DA. And the sheriff.
Get on his shoulders. He won't stop.
I'm just gonna move this out of the way. Back here. Try to get it. Oh, thank you, sir. Actually, you're good. You go get it.
Nice machine.
While they organize them.
Sure. We always do when women tell it.
You know, you all are welcome to stand in front of the podium. Please stand in front of the podium. If you can step into the space and then between shoulders. Yes, right there. You're fine.
Fuentes does not sign this one.
Thank you.
Yes, sir, Judge. I see you're letting your hair grow.
More than half of the Is this fine here? Yep.
Thanks for being here.
Thank you so much. Oh, I'm sorry, Judge.
Judge, see Craig, good to see you.
You look different in your picture.
Hey, he looks younger, no?
He had the hat and all that.
No, we can't use it here.
Congrats. Oh, man, when I saw that, I was like, nice. That is cool.
Okay.
Good deal. Yes.
No. Secretary's running for Dory. Secretary's running for Dory, the replacement. Esta is running for Rudy Delgado. So they're not running against each other. Sí.
Let me scan the agenda real quick.
Okay.
Judge.
I'm gonna move that other one up.
Can we do 12E2? The public hearing is scheduled for 10:30. 12E2. Public hearing.
I was gonna do 15A.
Yes.
50.
Let me do 15A first.
Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna change the agenda item real quick. We're gonna do 15A. Are they all here?
Yes, they are, sir.
Okay. All you young people, step forward.
You can all step forward. Here, Devin. Be here.
And make sure they tell us what high school they come from. You all need to brag a little bit about your school.
They're from everywhere.
They're from Hidalgo County.
Yeah.
That's why we want to know.
Okay. Thank you, Judge and Commissioners. Andrea Valdez, Texas A&M AgriLife Extension Service. I'm here with my colleague Romeo Ozuna to introduce our 2019-2020 4-H Ambassadors, 4-H County Council, and our 4-H Healthy Texas Youth Ambassadors. So if you're a 4-H ambassador, can you step forward? Okay, we would like to introduce the 2019-2020 4-H ambassadors. The role of a 4-H ambassador is to tell the 4-H story and spread the word about the great things 4-H has to offer. The ambassador program gives youth an opportunity to gain a better understanding of their community and to practice public and communication skills. Y'all want to step back? The 4-H County Council officers. Our Hidalgo County 4-H County Council are youth leaders for the County 4-H program. They are elected to their positions and meet once a month to plan County 4-H events and discuss 4-H business on behalf of and for the youth. Can step back. And our Healthy South Texas Youth Ambassadors are a group of carefully selected youth that represent Hidalgo County Healthy Texas programs that focus on food, nutrition, health, and wellness. They are trained on food safety, nutrition, and more. They help to educate their peers on how to live healthier lives. Okay, so if y'all live in Precinct 1 area, Mercedes, Westlaco, Donna, am I missing? Can y'all step forward?
Get your medal.
No wonder he was smiling over here to my left.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Congratulations.
Oh, yes. Okay, so you want to introduce yourselves and what high school you go to? Can you start? Middle school, it's fine.
I'm the 2019-2020 parliamentarian for this coming 4-H year. I'm Davin Peña from Travis Middle School and
Thank you.
McAllen.
Derek?
I'm Derek De La Garza. I live here in Edinburgh. I attend Edinburgh North High School, and I'm a 4-H ambassador.
Hi, I'm Jocelyn Boyle. I'm the first vice president for the county council, and I go to Sherryland Pioneer.
Hi, my name is Mia Gonzalez. I am 14, and I go to Edinburgh North High School.
Oh. Hi, my name is Ashley Martinez. I am the second vice president for county council, and I attend Edinburgh North High School.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Emery Drury. I'm the president for this upcoming County Council 2019-2020, and I attend Edinburgh North High School.
Hi, my name is Claire Lee. I am a 4-H ambassador, and I am from La Jolla, which means I go to La Jolla High School.
Hi, my name is Hamari Gonzalez, and I go to Wesleco High School.
Hi, my name is Cora Ford. I am the district delegate for the county council, and I go to Central Middle School.
Hi, my name is Charlotte Lee. I'm from La Jolla, and I go to Irene Garcia Middle School.
Hi, my name is Raleigh Sandoval, and I go to Wesco High School.
Hi, my name is Juliana Salinas. I go to Sherryland Pioneer. I'm an ambassador and a livestock ambassador for the state as well.
Good morning. My name is Myra Gutierrez, and I go to IB at Lamar Academy. And I'm a Healthy Texas Youth Ambassador.
Good morning. My name is Mason Dagestani. I am the president of the Healthy South Texas Youth Ambassadors, and I go to UTRGV Mathematics and Science Academy.
That's all. Thank you.
Well,
Who won the little competition?
Thank you.
Being here? Good to see you.
I don't know, Christopher Olivares.
It was close, between 1 and 4.
Mr. Olivares.
Okay, I'm going to turn over the agenda item to Commissioner Cantu for items 11.
If you can give us just a moment to get set up again.
12E.
But may I go ahead and turn it over to Commissioner Cantu, madam?
This is good.
So we're going to take an item out of order. We're on 12E.
We're going to take an item out of order.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
12E2.
12E2?
12E2. With your permission, sir.
This is Eddie Olivares, Hidalgo County Health and Human Services. I also serve as the anchor for Region 5 and dealing with the 1115 waiver. 12E2, this is a public hearing at 10:30 a.m. to consider public comments concerning the amount of mandatory payments to be required to be paid by paying hospitals for fiscal year 2020 and how the revenue diverted from these payments is to be spent. That's what the public hearing is about, sir. So, Commissioner, if you would call the public hearing.
At this time, we're going to open up the public hearing. It is 10:37. Does anybody have a comment on this item?
Ms. Fern, and under the public hearing, 12E2.
Yes, I was wondering on C, it says consideration and possible approval for Hidalgo County Tax Assessor Collector to collect the mandatory payments required by Hidalgo County Healthcare Funding District. What I would like to know is the county, the tax collecting department, are they going to be paid for this? Is the county going to be paid, or is this something, again, that we're going to give away with the employees, with them having to work?
Commissioner, with permission, I can answer that. As part of the 1620, Senate Bill 1623 from 6 years ago, 3 sessions ago, there is a $20,000 annual fee that is put upon to collect this money, and that money goes straight to the county tax collector and assessor's office to be used to help pay for this support.
Is that enough? Is that just for this county? Is that enough
Yes.
for the employees that are going to have to do that?
Yes. In fact, let me tell you how simple it is. In fact, that employees do not have to go out and collect anything. The hospitals are waiting to submit their payment immediately. So it's not like we're out there chasing them. They're in line, ready to pay for it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Are there any other comments related to this item? If not, we'll close the public hearing at 10:39.
Yes, sir. Okay, so we'll move on to, we need to cover each of these items, sir, A through F. So the next item is item B, consideration and possible approval of the mandatory payment to be assessed quarterly by Hidalgo County Health Care Funding District on the net patient revenue of an institutional health care provider and how the revenue is diverted for these payments. I need to make this real clear. First thing, for clarity, Hidalgo County Care Funding District is not a healthcare district. It is not a healthcare district or a hospital district. I want to make that extremely clear. This is just a term that is used by the state for the county commissioners that oversee this program. I want to make that real clear. And then I want to go over the net revenue. The institutional part of dealing with the net revenue. The net revenue that this is based on, the state takes part in this along with the hospitals. The total net revenue is based on 2016 net revenue from Doctors Hospital Renaissance, Knapp Medical, Mission Regional, Rio Grande Regional, Edinburgh Regional, Cornerstone Regional, Wesco Rehab, and Solera. The net amount is $1,387,041,660. $1,387,041,660. Therefore, that's the net revenue amount, and we'll get into the tax rate and the correction into the percentage is going to be assessed on the tax. So I need approval for item B.
Move for approval. Second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries with the judge abstaining. Item C.
Item C, consideration and possible approval of Hidalgo County Tax Assessor Collector to do the mandatory payment required by Hidalgo County Health Funding District. As we stated, we get a $20,000 administrative fee to help deal with this, and this is giving them the authority to collect those funds.
Move for approval.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes unanimously with the judge abstaining. Item D.
Consideration and approval to assess the mandatory payment annual rate. The annual rate that has been suggested by state law and CMS in the state is at 6%, the maximum rate in accordance to Senate Bill 1623, the original law that passed at 6%. That is what we recommend.
Move for approval.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries unanimously with the judge abstaining.
So at that 6% rate, that would mean there was $83,221,499.60 that would be collected for the FY20, which is the quarterly payments of $20,805,624.90. And this has been made available to the tax office, budget office, and auditor's office. They have these figures. Moving on to item E, very, very important. We already met with the hospitals and gave them the dates. Item E is consideration and approval to set the quarterly assessment dates. These are the dates when this will be collected and assessed. It would be November 30th, 2019, February 28th, 2020, May 31st, 2020, and August 31st, 2020. Those are the dates with your permission and your approval, sir.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries unanimously with the judge abstaining.
Item F, sir, there is no action unless there's any questions for item F.
Do you want to do E? So, if you can do 12E also, Ed.
12E, sir. I've got several other items, sir. I mean, there's several. So, I mean, I could wait till it's my turn if you like.
We're trying to finish my conflict.
Okay, 12E.
Do that.
Yeah, we're done with 12E, sir. That's it.
12E1.
12E1. You didn't do it.
Okay, 12E2, okay, 12E1, I'm sorry. Approval to, okay, I apologize. Approval to ratify the local provider participation fund letters dated 7/15/2019 to Health and Human Services Commission from Hidalgo County in the following hospitals: Doctors Hospital Renaissance, McAllen Hospital, Knapp Medical, Mission Hospital Incorporated, and Columbia Regional, Rio Grande Regional Hospital.
Move for approval. Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries unanimously with the judge abstaining.
Thank you. I'll wait for the other items when it comes to my turn, sir. Thank you.
Okay, we're back to our regular agenda item. The next item, I believe, will be 5B from the District Attorney's Office.
Judge, Commissioners, if I may, for the audience information, there are translation services available for anyone who needs translation services from English to Spanish. There are some headsets in the back of the courtroom. So again, there are translation services available.
Good morning, Commissioners. Judge Rosalinda Cantu presenting for the District Attorney's Office. Item 5B, DA's Texas Council on Family Violence. We're asking for approval of the interlocal agreement between Texas Council on Family Violence and the County of Hidalgo by and through the Criminal District Attorney's Office.
Can you do 2 and 3 also?
Yes, sir. 2, approval for the District Attorney to sign interlocal agreement, and 3, approval of certification of revenues as certified by the County Auditor for the Texas Council on Family Violence grant and appropriation of same.
Move for approval on 5B, 1, 2, and 3.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Item 5C, we're asking for approval of amendment number 3 to contract 2916 PEN 040 between Hidalgo County District Attorney's Office and the Texas Workforce Commission with approval for the District Attorney to execute contract as the authorized agent.
Move for approval.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
5D, DA's McCain Institute Fund 1281. We're asking for approval to submit an ASU grant number 005 budget adjustment to the McCain Institute for International Leadership at Arizona State University.
Move for approval.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Item 5E, Hidalgo County DA's Office, Board of Prosecution Fund 1281. We're asking for approval to submit a BPU grant number 2537808 budget adjustment to the Office of the Governor.
Move for approval.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Item 5F, we're requesting Commissioners Court approval pursuant to Article 3, Section 52 of the Texas Constitution for the DA's office to purchase promotional items to include all those listed on the agenda caption.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
May I move to HIDA Task Force?
Yes.
Item 6A, HIDA Task Force Fund 1291. We're asking for authorization to and approval to accept award number G19SS0002A, supplement number 1, cooperative agreement between Hidalgo County and the Executive Office of the President, Office of National Drug Control Policy, in the amount of $92,200 for the grant period of 1/1/2019 through 12/31/20.
Go ahead and go with 2, 3, and 4.
2, authorization for county judges, authorized official to sign grant award form and related documents. 3, authorization to pay overtime reimbursable under the grant terms and conditions. And 4, the approval of certification of revenues by the county auditor's office and approval of appropriation of funds for the Hidalgo County HIDA Task Force in the amount of $92,200.
So moved. Second.
Any discussions? There were 4 items. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. County Clerk's Office, 7A.
Judge, Commissioners, if I may, for the County Clerk's Office, they're requesting approval of an official bond renewal for the Elections Administrator, and that would be Ms. Yvonne Ramon. Everything is in order.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Sheriff's Office, 8A.
Good morning, Judge, Commissioners. Chief Herrera with the Sheriff's Office, Hidalgo County. Item 8A, Sheriff's Office Operation Stone Garden Fiscal Year 16, 1284. Ratification of advance payment request made for the remaining balance of $461,905.80 for fiscal year 16 Operation Stone Garden.
Move for approval.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
8B, pursuant to 351.0415C5, Sheriff's Office purchase and installation of a new stainless steel floor drain pan and removal of existing stainless steel floor pan, drain pan in the kitchen floor drains area and equipment at the Adult Detention Facility, aka County Jail, through HC's membership participation with PCA contract number 3-220-19 Texas Award Jock Vendor Hunt and Woodruff Construction Company LLC in the amount of $12,976.92.
Move for approval.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
8C, Sheriff's Office Operation Stone Garden Fiscal Year 17, 1284, authorization to request a 4-month extension for National Incident-Based Reporting System, NIBRS, grant and authorization for Judge Cortez to certify adjustment on e-grants.
Move for approval.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. On the next item, the auditors are recommending we have a revised budget amendment. Did y'all discuss that?
We took
before
care of that
coming?
already, Judge.
You already took care of it? All right, go ahead.
Okay, 8D, Sheriff's Office 1226, approval of certification of revenues by the County Auditor's Office in the amount of $110.63 interest revenues and approval of appropriation of funds into Fund 1226 from the unsigned fund balance in the amount of $29,979.11, including the interest earned in the amount of $110.63 for a total of $30,089.74.
For approval.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you, that's all I have.
Thank you. 9A, Tax Office.
Good morning, Judge Commissioners. Julio Espinosa from the Tax Office. Item 9A, discussion and approval to execute an interlocal agreement between the County of Hidalgo and the City of Palmhurst for implementation of scofflaw procedures and processes for vehicle registration denial services.
For approval.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
And item 9B, discussion and approval to execute an interlocal agreement between the County of Hidalgo and the City of Palmview for implementation of scofflaw procedures and processes for vehicle registration denial services.
Move for approval.
Second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Thank you very much. Next item, Human Resource 10A.
Good morning, Judge, Commissioners. Raul Silguero, Department of Human Resources. Item 10A, first thing is requesting a waiver of the budget amendment policy for personnel-related amendments, if applicable, for personnel items that are listed.
I have a motion.
Move for approval.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Item 10B, this is for Precinct 2, the Community Resource Center in Alamo. The precinct is asking approval of the following personnel action effective upon Commissioners Court approval, which would be today. This is only a title change, no change in salary or compensation. It's a slot 001 from Maintenance 1 to Custodian 2. Different title, same grade.
Move for approval.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Item 10C, this is for the Health Department for the ELC grant. That's an abbreviation for the grant that is listed. The grant is expiring, and so the department is asking approval to delete 6 positions that are listed, Zika-related positions. However, there's a small amount of money left over, so they're asking approval to create 2 temporary positions for 16 weeks, beginning 8/5/2019 and ending on the 11/24th. So they're deleting 6 positions that are listed and asking approval to create 2 temporaries, which are listed as Zika Public Health Specialist 1.
Move for approval.
Second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
There are employees in that are being dismissed, but they're going to keep 2 of the employees. So we're asking approval. The department is asking approval to waive the posting, hiring, and enrollment procedures and transfer employee number 221481 to the Zika Public Health Specialist 1 position, slot number T008, effective 8/5. And 4, approval to waive the posting, hiring, and enrollment procedures and transfer employee number 229482 to Zika Public Health Specialist 1, slot T009, effective 8/5/2019.
Move for approval.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
The next item, 5, is for the TB elimination grant. Also, the grant expires. This is 1 position, but it was partly funded from the grant and partly from general funds, so they're asking to delete those 2 slots, slot 10 and slot 75, and the title is TB Medical Technician at the listed grade.
Move for approval.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Item D is for Precinct 1. The position is on the Road and Bridge. They're asking approval to delete Administrative Assistant 3 position, grade 8, and instead create Maintenance 3 at the listed slot numbers. It's a slightly lower grade, grade 7.
Move for approval.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Item 2 on that same item is approval of the interdepartmental transfer.
So move.
Second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Item E, for the Elections Department, in compliance with our classification plan, they're asking approval to award discretionary step 2 to employee number 103527, System Support Specialist 3, after approval of HR criteria certification in accordance with the Section 8.03 of the Classification and Compensation Plan. We have certified that. We recommend approval.
So move.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. If you can pronounce all these names, please do.
I was going to say, Judge, discussion, consideration, approval to appoint the listed persons as volunteer intern under Hidalgo County Human Services for the period of 8/5 through December 30th. The second one is for the period 8/19 through December 30th, and the third is, I can pronounce that one, Aaron Leal, for the period August 19th through December 30th.
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
For the record, was that F and G?
I think he missed
Yes.
that.
I think he missed F.
Yeah,
You missed
you missed,
I did what?
Katrina Tate.
yeah.
F.
You missed.
Oh, I'm
missed
sorry,
it.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
F is approval to appoint Katrina Tay, student at Cornell University, as a volunteer intern under the Hidalgo County Auditor's Office, sorry, Linda, for the period of July 30th through August 9th, 2019.
So move.
Okay.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. But I really think for the record, you need to tell us how to pronounce G.
Sevoslavsky.
We'll give you a pass.
Thank you, Judge. Item H, Commissioner Torres asked me to place an item on the agenda for discussion, a proposed policy on breastfeeding is a term that's used, but we call it mother-friendly worksite policy for Hidalgo County. Can you have it? I've drafted a policy. This is for discussion. It's not for approval because we wanted to see. You're getting two types of policies. One, we drafted the detailed one. I drafted the detailed one, which includes procedures. The breastfeeding policy is actually required under the Fair Labor Standards Act, and it's also required by Texas Government Code. Departments have their own local policies in some cases, some may not, but we need a county-wide policy. And so the one that is titled Mother-Friendly Worksite Policy is the current draft, and it gives the requirements on the break time, on the location, that we have to provide a space, that we have to give the employees time, and so it has general requirements, time and location of the break. And these are non-compensated, compensated breaks, coverage and compensation, procedures, employee responsibilities, supervisor responsibilities in relation to the location, the timing. Now, we also had the other page is a more simpler, a one paragraph that we had drafted in the current handbook that's under development. In HR, we are combining the non-civil service handbook and the civil service handbook into one handbook. It's not ready for release, but in that one we had already addressed the breastfeeding, and we have one paragraph in that. So, Commissioner, either we can implement now the more detailed one, or the less detailed, and just require more procedures.
Mr. Seguero and Judge Commissioners, there is a public participation form from Ms. Firma Clarity where she asks some questions with respect to the policy. Let me start by saying that this is a policy that our policy is in compliance with, one, the Texas legislature that created the Texas Mother-Friendly Work Site designation. And then over and above that, from a federal standpoint, you have Chapter 6, Title 6, Chapter 619, which is specifically .003, which is specific policy on expression of breast milk. So as Mr. Seguero stated, the criteria for the policy is dictated by the policy. And at the end of the day, the statement that says that the employer shall make reasonable accommodations, okay? And so, Ms. Fern, with respect to the questions that you asked, I'll be more than happy to meet with you, okay, with respect to your questions. But this is in compliance with federal statute, one, and two, over and above that, the Texas legislature also has its version. And so
the federal general requirement, just briefly, I'll read. It says employers are required to provide reasonable break time for an employee to express breast milk for her nursing child for 1 year after the child's birth, each time such employee has need to express the milk. Employers are also required to provide a place other than a bathroom that is shielded from view and free from intrusion from co-workers and the public, which may be used by an employee to express breast milk. The FLSA requirement for break time for nursing mothers to express milk does not preempt state law that may provide greater protections for employees, providing compensated break time, providing break time for exempt employees, or providing break beyond 1 year after the child's birth. That's the federal requirement. Right. And then the state requirement, section 619.003, says the employer shall develop a written policy on the expression of breast milk by employees under this chapter. So it's a requirement at the federal level and at the state level. The question we have a short version that doesn't have detailed procedures, or we have the lengthier version that has more expresses the requirements of the employer, the supervisor, and so Commissioner Torres, you could ask.
Right. Has this been taken before civil?
No, ma'am.
Service? No. Okay.
So one thing, I have 3 kids, so full
Yeah, and this is for
support.
discussion. I would have to bring it back once the court decides which way to go. I'll need to bring it back to court before we go to civil service.
So I was going to ask, since this seems to be like a medical accommodation, are there any doctor's requirements as far as paperwork on that they are breastfeeding, or is this just an automatic?
No, it's just a requirement that we provide the space and we give them the time.
The private space and the time. I think private is
Sanitary.
is important. yeah.
And sanitary.
Right.
Okay. Yeah. So it's just a matter of which of the two?
To me, Commissioner, it's up to the court. We will be releasing the new combined handbook sometime in the near future. I could replace the shorter version with this, or
I personally like the longer one.
Whatever you want. Yeah, make a motion.
Do we need a motion to?
I think it was just discussion.
It's just a discussion, right?
Discussion.
Yes, but which way, what direction?
The longer version.
The longer version.
Okay. I think that's.
Of course, subject to
Okay,
legal and civil service.
Yes,
and all that good stuff, right?
I'll bring it back for court after, with all the procedures.
Okay.
The next item is discussion on a proposed on-call policy for Hidalgo County employees. Judge Cortez asked me to draft a policy for discussion. Can you have that? Judge Commissioners, we are required to compensate employees for time worked, and if it exceeds 40 hours, we have to pay them time and a half. So some employees work over 40 hours because they perform on-call duties, they answer the phone, they emergencies, things that happen after the county business is closed. So we have many employees that are on call at the IT department, at the health department, in the precincts. And the one thing we don't have is a policy with uniform procedures, with uniform prescribed forms. So there's a lot of opportunity for mistakes, for not recording correctly, that puts us in possible risk with wage and hour. So we need a policy. In talking to Judge Cortez in McAllen, they have a policy where they provide employees that are on call, that have to perform on-call duty, some sort of a premium supplement just for being on call, just for being on that duty. And then I imagine they get paid then the actual time that they work. And so this policy is attempting to do that, that we reward or compensate employees just for being on call, and then pay them for actual time work. So this is this policy. Now.
Well, it also clearly states what we're asking them to do, because they can give a different version of what they were asked to do than what we actually gave them. So this makes it clear what they were asked to do while they were on call.
Right, and I think we do need the policy so that we can have, and this doesn't include the forms yet. I will bring it back with the forms and procedures and all of that, so that the county employees and all departments are uniform in what we use. The question is on compensation, and I guess the discussion here, Judge, is do we want to compensate employees a small amount for being on call, separate and apart from the actual work performed, or not? Right now, we don't. Employees on call, if they work 20 hours, 15 minutes, 30 minutes, all of that is compiled and then returned into the timekeeper, and we pay them for any actual hours that they work. We don't compensate them just for being on call. So the question is, do we want to compensate employees for being on call, a minor compensation for having to do that duty or not? And of course, this doesn't apply to exempt employees. Exempt employees are required to work whatever is assigned to them. So this is for non-exempt employees.
Does anyone have an opinion about that question?
I have an opinion that we probably shouldn't, because it would have a huge impact, because we're basically all on call. I mean, that's our job. And when you sign up to work here at the county, you're kind of, aware of that we're going to be on call. When rain hits, hurricanes hit, or whatever, we do our job, we go to work. And so I couldn't see how we can put people on call. Obviously, we pay them as soon as they start working. So
we're supposed to keep records. We're supposed to keep accurate records and record all the time worked. And if they exceed 40 hours, we have to pay them time and a half.
I recommend we pay a nominal amount, like maybe $5 or $2, whatever it is, so that both employee and us agree to the value of simply being on call. We both agree that that's the value. The value of the work they do is their normal compensation time, but that they have to provide records for. But I think we have, Victor, do you have a legal opinion on that?
Yes, Judge, thank you. Good morning, Judge, Commissioners. We have been beginning to look at the policy that y'all received this morning. We'll continue to look at that in that particular issue, specifically because from our perspective, in the immediacy, we would have concerns about grant employees and any restrictions that compensation that we could reimburse from grants would have an effect as it regards to the policy, especially for a nominal payment that would be given to those individuals. So we might have to distinguish further in policy between rank and file employees that get general fund payment as differentiating them between other employees that may be compensated through a grant process. And I'm sure we can discuss those details further as we continue to review the policy.
We also have law enforcement, that we weren't anticipating law enforcement there. Obviously, they're on call as well. They have 3 shifts, but I'm sure some investigators or crime scene investigators, some of those people are also on call and may be called. So I listed on a separate paper 4 options, Judge Commissioners. And option 1, it says provide on-call pay, hours as minimum actual work, and non-work compensation beyond time work, meaning the policy says we'll give you 1 hour per each work week, the weekdays, and 2 hours for Saturday and Sunday. You would get the hour, and then if you work 30 minutes, you would get compensated the minimum 30 minutes and then 30 minutes of actual time. That's complicated because we would have to divide the non-paid the non-work versus the work time. So the option 2 would be provide on-call pay, on-call duty, non-work compensation, and actual work time compensated, which is what the judge is saying. We pay a nominal fee. The policy says time, and then if you actually work, then you get paid for whatever time you work.
Well, and this is for the convenience of all of you, because we can put a policy that nobody other than an exempt employee can be on call duty. Then an exempt employee then can call a non-exempt employee, and then the clock start ticking at that time. So it's up to you all what you all want to do.
I think we have a lot of departments that don't have that many exempt employees available for the on-call requirements. So that might be an
But it's
issue
just
there.
to call them in, right? The department head reaches out to the rest of his staff and says, hey, we need to go to an event or something.
Then the clock starts ticking.
Which is fine.
It's like
But
the
the person on
IT,
call-
for
but
example.
the person
IT
on
has
call is
certain people.
exempt.
IT is. IT is a good example because they have people on call. If something goes down, the system goes down or something. How do you handle
Currently, if an event were to take place and we were to lose connectivity, for instance, at any one of the precincts, staff would be notified, emails go out, 24 hours a day whenever there's an outage. Depending on the level of the outage, they jump into motion. When we had that last event at Precinct 1 and we lost connectivity, we all knew about it. We all knew about it, maybe even before y'all did, because again, we're notified when we lose connectivity to our equipment. So again,
When does their clock start in terms of work time?
as soon as they respond to that email, sir. I can't make them read it, in the middle of the night.
But what we're trying to protect ourselves is, this is a hypothetical.
Yes, sir.
I'm on call, I don't receive any call at all.
Right.
But I was on call for X number of hours. Okay, should I have been paid for being on call, even though it didn't bother me, I didn't do anything or whatever? That's the issue that we have, that we're trying to prevent by having a policy that both the employer and employee agree that that's the agreement, and to be clear as to what does it mean to be on call. Because you can ask an employee who says, well, I couldn't barbecue, I couldn't go to the movies, I couldn't go to all these things, so that interrupted me, and therefore that has a value. So what value does it have? So that's what we're trying to get here.
So what does the Fair Labor Standards Act say?
Well,
The Fair Labor Standard says if you're engaged to work, available for work, you don't have to be compensated. If you're restricted, and that's what the policy tries to say, if you're restricted, you can't go here, you can't go there.
And you hear that? If you're restricted.
Right, if you're
So
restricted.
if there's no policy and the employee says something, and you say, well, that's not what we told them, then what governs?
So if you're restricted, then we have to pay you. If you're saying you have to stay home, not go anywhere in case we need you, we have to pay them for all the time that are there.
But it's not just staying at home, it's what they can do when they're at home that you're restricting.
Well, again, it's a definition of restriction. The unrestricted and unrestricted on call says, hey, you can go wherever you want. You can go to the movies, you can go to the HEB, you can do whatever, but you have to answer the phone when there's a call, and then you have to engage in work. But just waiting to work.
This is really important, but can't you take this up with the chiefs? I mean, we'll be here forever
Right.
discussing this.
Sure.
And with the legalese and everything involved in this, I mean, I think it's really, really important, but hash it out with the chiefs first and then bring us some options, in my opinion.
And I think you also need to define what qualifies as being on call and
Who does
what
this
would
affect?
trigger.
How much would it cost? I mean, there's so many factors to look at. I mean,
Absolutely.
We can't do it here. We'll be here all day.
And the other thing to consider is our critical employees when we have an emergency. Those guys have to come in if there's an event coming, so it's.
But those get compensated. It's
Obviously.
understood.
Yep.
So we can close the discussion. My choice would be give a priority to an exempt employee to be on call as a default. When that is not available, then have a non-exempt employee. And that the policy to have a very nominal amount for being on call, and the requirement to keep records of the hours and the time that they're spending doing what.
Okay, based on your comments, Judge, and whatever input we get from the chiefs, we'll draft, one or two different versions and then bring it back, and also work with legal. Okay?
And civil service, correct?
And, well, after
After
the
all
court
that,
approves
then
it,
it goes-
we go to civil service. We always do that, yes.
I would also add that you probably need to add that to the job description for each employee that's on call.
Come again?
You'll need to add it to the job description for each employee that's on
That
call.
the possibility of on-call. Okay, I'll do that, thank you.
Well, it's, and the definition of on-call, right? Because
Sure.
my understanding right now, if I reach out to my guys, they don't have to come in. They all come in every time, right? They don't have to. I mean, if they are barbecuing and drinking or doing whatever, I mean, they're not, first of all, I don't want them, right? Because, so, we need to see who it applies to and all that.
Right. This is more like an assignment. I think in some of the precincts, a person is assigned on call. You're on call for today. If any calls come in, the phone is, all the phones in the precinct ring at this on-call phone. That person is on call. He's identified, and they rotate that duty.
Well, we don't have that, but go ahead
Okay.
and hash it out with them.
Okay, I will do. That's all I have then. Thank you.
Thank you. Another easy day. Item 11A.
Good morning, Judge Commissioners. Your first item for Urban County is the approval of land acquisition of parcel number 1 for the 2015 flood grant, trench and drain phase 2 and 3, General Land Office Contract 18-281-000-A923.
Move for approval?
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Item B is approval of land acquisition of parcel number 2 for the same project.
Move for approval?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Item C is requesting exemption from competitive bidding requirements under Texas Local Government Code 262.024A4 for professional engineering services consisting of construction materials, geotechnical testing services.
Move for approval.
Second.
And why are you going for an exemption again?
It's required under Texas Local Government Code 262 for selection of engineers and/or engineers for testing
Oh, I
services.
got it. All right. We have a motion to approve. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Item C2 is the presentation of the scoring grid for the purposes of ranking by Commissioners Court of at least 3 construction material geotechnical testing engineering firms from the county's approved pool as graded and evaluated by the City of Weslaco, the Urban County Program, and the Hidalgo County Purchasing Department in connection with a Weslaco water sewer improvement project. The 3 firms that were evaluated were professional PSI, the Robert Kistner Consultants with a grade of 96.33, Terracon Consultants with a grade of 95, and Millennium Engineers Group with a grade of 92.33.
Move for approval.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Item 3 is authority to negotiate a professional engineering service contract with the number 1 ranked firm of Robert Kistner Consultants for the water and sewer project in the City of Weslaco.
Move for approval.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Okay, the County of Hidalgo, along with Willacy County, developed an Hidalgo-Willacy Housing Finance Corporation back in, I want to say it was probably the early 90s. This corporation was formed in order to sell bonds in order to provide assistance for single-family housing. The County of Hidalgo has 2 representatives on this board. This board has not been extremely active in the last several years. I believe our last meeting was in 2013. But as I indicated, the Hidalgo County Commissioners Court has the option to appoint 3 board members. It's normally been members of the County Commissioners Court. At one time, there was a representative from the public that was part of the board. But I would recommend at this point that the court consider whether or not you want to continue with the board members that are in office now or appoint from this court.
Why is this coming up now?
Because the terms have expired for the 3 board members that are currently on the board.
They expired this year?
They've expired since, I believe it's 2017, and because we've had no activity since then, at this point, we're requesting that the county commissioners
What's the
court,
plan with, because you have, what, like $500,000 in there?
approximately $500,000.
And so we're going to appoint new board members, and what action are we going to take? Or
Ja-
what is the idea behind this?
To be a part, to continue to be a part of the Hidalgo-Willacy Housing Finance Corporation. I'm requesting this action on behalf of the Hidalgo County Commissioners Court and the Willacy County Commissioners Court. So
But
if
what
there
is
was-
the goal? What are we
The goal
going
is
to
to be able to
advance?
sell bonds, to be able to make housing affordable for individuals that live in both these communities. It's for single-family construction. The board has not been active. The consultants that were in play back then were out of Chicago and other areas. And every so often, they'll say there's an opportunity for the Hidalgo-Willacy Housing Finance Corporation to try to attempt to buy bonds at this point so that we can have money available for this area for single-family construction.
Well, I mean, I'm glad you finally put it on, because we've been talking about trying to use some of this money, because we also have another corporation that has $500,000, so we need to use that money and try to do something, so I'm glad it's on.
Well, but this board only acts to sell bonds.
Yes.
Not to use the money or.
It becomes funding that's available, that's processed. Like, let's say
No, but I need to be clear, because
You're
does this board here decide how to use the money, or just to be able to authorize the sale of the bond?
Authorize the sale.
But not to use the money.
Right, not personally for us to become involved, it is done through other sources.
That's accurate, Judge, but I just want to make a point that there's $1 million just sitting in two accounts that have sat there forever. We need to
I
know
don't
what.
believe it's $1 million. It's probably $750,000. It's not $500,000 yet, each. Okay, so, hey, that $250,000 means a lot. I don't want them to come back and say, hey, when Commissioner said there was $1 million
Can we get
there.
active? Can we try to do something
We
with
can
those
try to
monies?
see, but as I indicated, I've been in contact with the individuals that are financial consultants, and they've only come to us when it's a good time for us. But I can reach out to them and say, is there an opportunity for us to become more
Is there-
active in this?
Plus, is there another opportunity to use that money? I understand. What those people do are sell bonds.
Right.
Separate and apart from the money that's existing there. What I'm saying is, let's take an active approach to use that money for something like housing for, we had a project that we were looking at, it didn't qualify, but let's do something about using that money.
Let's keep in mind that this money has to be used for single-family ownership.
Of course.
But there's a lot of
Let's
need
do
for that.
something. That's what I'm saying.
$500,000 doesn't go a long way as far as single-family.
So you're saying don't do anything with it?
No, I'm not saying that at all, Commissioner. That did not come out of my mouth. I understand that you want to invest this money and you want to be able to make something out of it. I
Right.
understand that. But it's always so much better to have this money available when we are selling bonds because we get a lot more for $500,000 than we do just participating in one project.
What are the terms of these appointments?
They're normally for a period of 3 years, not to exceed 6 years total.
I would be willing to step on that if you.
Well, this is my motion.
We have a volunteer. Go
Okay,
ahead.
Hector Palacios will be replaced by Cantu, and Joseph Palacios will be replaced by Torres, and Cuellar will be replaced by Fuentes.
But doesn't that create a quorum on that board?
That's my concern.
Why?
Because you got a majority of Commissioners Court serving. If you,
Well, that's what.
Then we'll have to do double posting to ensure that.
you'd have to do double posting.
Double posting to be able to say that the current members of the court.
I'll make it easy. I can have Mondo sit in for me.
Yeah, or I mean, whatever.
Okay.
Oh, well, I'm sorry. And I don't have an
Well,
appointment. That's right.
Commissioner Torres, you had originally taken on this role because you was the commissioner, but it had to be made official.
You making a motion?
I made a motion. I'm out of it.
Second.
Okay, just to be sure what the motion is, Hector Palacios is being replaced by Mando. Mando. Joseph Palacios is being replaced by Commissioner Ellie, and Commissioner Cuellar is being replaced by Commissioner Fuentes. Okay, we have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Can you bring the other one on the next meeting?
Yes, sir. I will.
And this is going to be considered standby pay. You don't get paid.
Not at all. This is strictly volunteer, but you get a good lunch out of it.
There's another.
Or on-call pay.
May I proceed, Judge?
Yes, ma'am.
Item E is requesting action to correct the base bid submitted by Geo Underground LLC, total from $468,061.21 to $468,061.40 due to contractor's mathematical error. Subject to compliance with House Bill 1295, requesting consideration and action to award and enter into a construction contract with Geo Underground LLC in the amount of $461,061.40. This is for a Westaco water and sewer project, which funds from their account will be utilized.
Move for approval.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Item F is subject to compliance with House Bill 1295, requesting consideration and action to award and enter into a construction contract with Diamond 8 Industries LLC in the amount of $141,575.25. This will be for a 2017-2018 Progreso Street Improvements line item. The engineer has recommended that the lowest responsible bidder be awarded the contract. This is a new company that we've never worked with before, but every company deserves an opportunity.
Diamond 8. Move for approval.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Item G is request for approval to reject bids received for the Precinct Number 2 Parks and Recreational Facility Improvement Project, which consisted of the North San Juan Swimming Pool. And
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you very much.
Thank
That's
you
all I
very
have.
much, then.
Good morning, Judge Commissioners. Eddie Olivares, Hidalgo County Health. We have a few items today, with your permission, sir. Item 12A, discussion and consideration and action on the following. In accordance with the Hidalgo County Civil Service Commission rules, requesting approval of mileage reimbursement and the payment of extra hours related to the 5th annual No Refusal Weekend Project, coordinated between the Hidalgo County District Attorney's Office, Hidalgo County Sheriff's Office, during the Labor Day weekend for Hidalgo County Health and Human Services Department staff at a rate of time and a half in addition to the employee's regular work hours and/or leave taken. This is our 5th annual event. This has been very successful, and this is asking our employees, staff to take time during the holiday weekend to work extra hours, especially into the after midnight hours.
So move.
Second. Is there any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Item B, discussion and action to include any video recording in areas where protected health information, PHI, may be captured within Hidalgo County Health and Human Services facilities as determined by Hidalgo County Health and Human Services Authorized Administration, to maintain video recording in public areas such as lobbies, entrances, hallways, storage areas, or otherwise determined by authorized administration as per Health and Human Services Department and County Surveillance Camera Policy. This is supported by Hidalgo County Security Camera Policy, SCP-1, and will bring Hidalgo County Health and Human Services facilities in compliance with Federal Health Insurance Portability and Accountability Act of 1996, or HIPAA, the Texas Medical Records Privacy Statute, Health and Human Service Code, Chapter 181, and the Texas Department of Health and Human Services Confidential Information Security Policy.
Mr. Olivares.
Yes.
Judge Commissioners, and again, as of late, my hearing's been off.
Sure.
But just to be clear, it's discussion and action to exclude, not include.
To exclude. Right, any video recording in those areas.
Okay.
Right. Yeah.
All right.
Move for approval.
Second. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Okay. Item C is requested approval of the contract training agreement by and between South Texas College and Hidalgo County Health and Human Services Department. The purpose of this agreement is to have STC provide training on medical records privacy, HB 300, and HIPAA as needed during the term of 9/1/2019 through 8/31/2020. We have our staff is required by our contract go to STC and get this training every month as needed to make sure we're in compliance with all the regulations.
And go ahead and go to number 2.
Requested approval to have county judge sign the contract training agreement.
Approval of C1 and 2.
Second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Item D is requesting approval of certification of revenue by county auditor in the amount of $1,400 for the TB Control FY19 program income funds. And then number 2 is requested approval to appropriate program income funds in the amount of $1,400.
So move.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Sir, and
Thank
I
you
want
very much.
I want to take this moment to thank you and Commissioner Torres and all the county's participants that went to the luncheon at La Jolla for Operation Lone Star. Thank you very much for being there. It was very successful.
Good event.
Thank you.
Item 13A.
Good morning, Judge Commissioners. Item 13A is under our foster grandparent program, approval to create a regular full-time position effective upon Commissioner's Court approval. It's slot number 001, foster grandparent recruiter manager, salary of $28,000.
Move for approval.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Under the senior companion program, approval of the following personnel action is to create slot 0001, senior companion recruiter manager at a salary of $31,000.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you,
Thank you very
Judge.
much.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Thank you.
Item 14A, elections.
No hay nadie, ¿no? Ah,
She's coming. Yeah, do we have anybody?
sí, va de secure the election.
You need to go ask Valdi.
Well, we'll skip it. We'll go to item 16A.
15A. 15?
We did it.
No, we already did 15A.
Oh, yes, I'm sorry. 16A.
Item 16A.
Good morning, Judge and Commissioners. Clarissa Ramirez with the Hidalgo County WIC Program. Here to present on item 16A, WIC Extra Funding Other. Number 1, requesting approval to accept the FY 2019 Extra Funding Other Grant.
Move for approval.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
2, requesting approval of certification of revenues as certified by the county auditor in the amount of $10,000 and appropriation of same.
So moved.
Approval.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
WIC SNAP BF, requesting approval to accept the FY 2019 SNAP BF grant in the amount of $8,000.
Move for approval.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Thank you very much. Seventeen.
Morning.
17A.
Morning, Judge. Commissioners, Jorge Garcia with the Planning Department. Item 1A, preliminary approval with a variance request for Caledonia Estates Phase 3 subdivision, lies in Precinct 4 and Curry Road and Cesar Chavez Road. It's a 42-lot subdivision. Drainage will be provided by storm sewer, and detention will be provided by the widening of the existing drain ditch. It lies within the City of Edinburgh. ETJ has received approval from said city. Water will be provided by North Alamo Water Supply Corporation. Sewer will be provided by City of Edinburgh. The variance is to reduce the setbacks on lots 25 to 31, front setback from 25 feet to 20 feet, and rear setback from 15 to 10 feet.
I have a question. What about lighting?
Yes, ma'am, this will have street lights as well. All the subdivisions that we have with internal streets, street lights are required.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Preliminary approval for 2A, Las Villas Estate Subdivision, Precinct 1 on Mile 4 West Road and Mile 12 and a half North Road. It's a 61-lot subdivision. Drainage will be provided by storm sewer system, and detention will be provided by the existing drain ditch. Lies in the City of Huezaco. ETJ has received approval from said city. Water will be provided by North Alamo Water Supply Corporation. Sewer will be provided by on-site sewage facilities, septic tanks.
Move for approval.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Item 3A, final approval. It's a replat of Lot 9 Vista Bonita, number 10 subdivision in Precinct 4. It is located on Sunrise Street and FM 2812. It is a 2-lot subdivision. Drainage will be provided by natural percolation and surface runoff into Sunrise Street roadside ditch and existing drainage swells. It lies in the City of Edinburgh. ETJ and has received approval from said city. Water will be provided by North Alamo Water Supply Corporation and sewer by septic tanks that have been installed.
Move for approval.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Final item, 3B, Mesquite Moore subdivision is located in Precinct 2 on Moore Road and Tower Road. It's a 36-lot subdivision. Drainage will be provided by storm sewer system, and detention will be provided by the widening of the existing drain ditch. It lies within the City of Alamo. ETJ has received approval from said city. Water will be provided by Military Highway Water Supply Corporation, as well as sanitary sewer by Military Highway Water Supply.
Move for approval.
Approval.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you very
Have a good
much.
day.
Just really quick. Do you notice on the last one where you have streetlights?
Yes,
Yeah,
ma'am.
that's fine.
And the reason I ask is because on some others you don't.
Yes,
So
the
that's
other
why I
one's
asked.
on preliminary. It is, I think the only one that has the plan so far right now is on Caledonia Estates, showing 6 streetlights for preliminary. The other final item, it's a re-subdivision of an old subdivision. It's a 1-acre lot, just 2 lots, so it has no internal street. And Mesquite Moore, it does have internal street, so.
Okay.
it does include the street lighting.
Right. But when it's indicated, it helps me not have to ask you.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. We could do that for, well, at preliminary stage, we still not sure how many exactly, because that's up to the utility provider
Okay.
when they approve that plan at preliminary stage.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am. But for final, we could try to get that for you.
Okay.
Item 18A, Precinct 1.
Yes, sir. This is a continuation of what we discussed in the Drainage District. It's the discussion and approval resolution in support of the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers proposed submittal of a proposed study entitled Lower Rio Grande Valley Flood Risk Management and Resilience Project to the U.S. Congress under Section 7001 of the Water Resource Reform and Development Act, also known as WRDA 2014.
May I have a motion to approve?
Approval.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you. 19A.
Good morning, Judge Commissioners. Item 19A, request approval to accept a counteroffer to purchase a tract of land known as Parcel 2 of the Precinct 2 Las Milpas Road / Arena Drive Road project.
Move for approval.
Second.
Second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you very much.
Good morning, Judge. Good morning, Commissioners. Armin Garza, Precinct 3. Item 28, requesting approval to accept counteroffer to purchase a tract of land known as Parcel 63, associated with Veterans Boulevard, from Abram Road to La Homa Road, ROW, CSJ, number 0865-01-11, with authority for the County Judge to sign an administrative evaluation and approval form.
Move for approval. Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Thank you very much.
Good morning, Judge and Commissioners. Dr. Jennifer Mendoza-Culbertson, Precinct 4. Agenda Item 71406, requesting approval for the RGV Food Bank distribution to use the San Carlos Endowment Center Community Cultural Rooms, including the parking lot area at Precinct 4 on Wednesday, August 14, 2019, from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m.
Approval.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Thank
you
you.
very much. Such a professional.
What a professional reader. That's awesome.
Morning, Judge Commissioners. Sergio Cruz, Department of Budget and Management. Item 22A is approval of salary schedule changes in accordance with the county's classification and compensation pay plan for two ADAs, one ADA 2 from a grade 15 going from step 2 to step 3, and an ADA 4, a grade 19 from step 1 to step 2. It's listed on the exhibit.
Approval. Second. All those in favor say aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Item 22B is approval of salary schedule changes, which is the creation of a longevity allowance slot, Slot A165, for the Health Department, Program 3, in the amount of $540, as listed on the exhibit.
Move for approval. Second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Item 22C is requesting approval of certification of revenues as certified by the county auditor in the amount of $79,929.86, and appropriation of the same for the Precinct 4 Drainage Improvement Project.
Move for approval.
Second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
And item 22D is requesting approval of certification of revenues as certified by the county auditor in the amount of $348,421.68, and appropriation of the same for the Precinct 4 Drainage Improvement Project.
Move for approval.
Second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you, Judge.
Thanks, Judge.
Judge, Commissioners, if I may, just as a matter of record, item 14A, I know was passed, but 14A, Elections Administration, discussion election updates, there is no action at all.
Thank you.
Or there's no action today.
The highlight of the meeting.
Oh, thank you. We'll see. 23A1, requesting a rescission of the Amendment 1 for the interlocal agreement between Hidalgo County and Cameron in connection with the housing of inmates that was approved on July 1st.
Move for approval.
Second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
B is approval of the new Amendment 1 to the current interlocal cooperation agreement between Hidalgo and Cameron counties in connection with the housing of inmates with an effective date of June 20th, 2019.
Move for approval.
Second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Item 2A, discussion and action on consulting services request for proposals for the Hidalgo County self-funded insured group health program with any modifications. I did send it out that you all would suggest or recommend on exhibits A and B for the review, that it was sent out on July 24th for you.
That includes all the discussion items that we had in the workshops and.
As a result of the workshops, I'm presenting it to you to see if you wish to, yes, you can send in any type of modifications, additions, or deletions. We think the core original A and B, that is what you're being presented, for your review, I sent you just what we had, but we are updating it, of course, with the dates and the whole packet.
Okay. Move for approval.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Now, the second item is, once we have received all of your input and we have a final packet and reviewed, especially the consulting services part of it by legal counsel as to form, we are asking authority to advertise the RFP for consulting services for the same project. Now, this is what I need to know. Would this be effective 1/1/20? I seem to walk away with the impression that you wanted to finish out the consulting services agreement you're in now, but I can always bring another item on. I was not directed to put anything else except this on.
That's a good question. What's the
The
wish?
current, yes, your current agreement for the consulting services, and you know that we are,
When do you expect the response from the,
they're going to be having it for about a month. We hope to have an award by no later second week in October, and that's pushing it. So the packets have already started to go out on it, under your consultant.
so probably effective October 1, or?
Well, I guess December, January 1st, no? Like I would have to bring it back.
I would have to bring it back with the notice, whatever the current contract says is the notice of termination. But I wasn't given direction as to that part, that's why I'm asking.
During this time, in these 3 years, it would probably be a 1-year, 2-year contract with extension. So what would be the role of the consultant? Is that something that we would have to delineate in that proposal that's going to go out?
It has it, it's everything you talked about.
Right.
The monthly meetings, any changes, any efforts to improve the program within the awarded contract, of course, with the TPA service and that type of thing.
Because right now, we weren't getting any updates monthly or quarterly, or we weren't being,
Only with-
we're not being told.
Staff was being updated.
But not the court.
We never presented to the
Right.
court, but yes, staff was being updated. We would make annual updates during the budget process, when we would make any changes to the actual plan design, changing co-pay amounts or deductible amounts. That's really the only time. And that's what really was, one of the changes that's included in this RFP, as opposed to the one previously, which requires now quarterly updates to the court.
Right, quarterly
The
was
previous
suggested.
RFP did not include that. But the new one does. As far as our recommendation, as far as in DBM with employee benefits, we would recommend that the current contract be finished out till the end of the year. Because again, we are going for the RFP. Right now, we don't know whether we will have to change the TPA or not. And if we do, then there's other work that needs to be done that Mr. Levine does assist us with. Should the court make a change in consultants?
From the transition.
Basically, that he would help us in the transition, not so much the consultant transition, but in case there's a TPA change.
Correct.
He would be able to assist us at that point. That's just, our recommendation.
So then no action, or?
Well, no, you can give me authority to advertise, but
Oh,
if you
okay.
do want action as to a termination, that's another item that I'd have to place.
But it's not on here, so then
No,
we-
no. I
But you
didn't
can't
have
start the RFP process. The question would be what kind of an effective date you would want it.
That-
If they're gonna be
That's the question.
during the consulting for this renewal, or if they're going to start at the end of the year.
Correct. That's,
So I guess it's an issue of whether you want a consultant that we have now for this process, or if you want to concurrently advertise with the potential of changing the consultant for this go-around.
That's the question about the effective date.
Or what is your wish? Or what is?
Recommendation.
Looking for guidance from.
Based on the current timeline, on the TPA, on the one we authorized last week, we wouldn't really we wouldn't get the responses back till the end of August, I believe.
At least.
Our current consultant would then take about 3 weeks to review those, do the interviews with the respondents, and then choose another carrier. So basically, all of that would have already have happened.
Plus bringing it to court.
Correct. So as far as, trying to decide as to when the new consultant comes in, basically all of that, the court probably will have already decided by the time. If the court were to say, let's do a consultant as soon as possible, most of that would have already occurred. That's just.
Well, if in the event that we would have a new consultant,
Correct.
wouldn't we want them involved with the plan that's going to be selected so that they know?
So that they would know what plan we've chosen, but, again, I think the process will be delayed even further than what it is now. I don't think we would be able to bring this consultant in time to do that review.
I just said how I see it, okay? We're not prejudging our local consultant, because for all we know, we may keep them, okay? We don't know whether we're gonna keep them. If we were to change, we were to change because we're trying to make it better. We don't know if that exists or not. So it would seem to me that we would want it earlier in the event that we do think we have a better consultant, then we take advantage of it quickly now, as opposed to, well, now we have to wait for the next stop, the next time. So to me, it seems like the conservative decision would be to make it concurrently with this proposal. But that's just me.
August, September, you have 2.5 months from your internal deadline on selecting a product. So I don't think it'll be pushing it, but I don't think it's impossible to achieve.
I don't have a problem with overlapping. What's the motion?
I think what Judge is referring to is it's more conservative to issue the RFP. We can subsequently take other action if we have to, but if we're going to RFP the consulting services, and he's right, I think the sooner the better.
I agree.
So moved.
I'll second that.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Did you all understand the motion?
We're gonna put the RFQ.
We're gonna put it out.
Concurrent.
And it's concurrent to
Yes.
to the current consultant doing his job.
Right.
Right, we haven't given notice.
No.
And if we change
No.
or if we decide not to do
Correct.
the RFP.
Then at that point, you'd need to let me know.
Okay.
Okay.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
And opposed? Motion carries.
Item 3, this is action for Hidalgo County to exercise, issue, and send the 30-day written notice of termination as provided under current agreement with Robert Peña Jr., DBA Texas Energy Consultants.
So I thought that,
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I thought that we were gonna put out, it's kind of the same thing we just talked about right now. That we were gonna put it out there, and he was gonna have the opportunity to reapply.
Yes.
And he could possibly be the person that we choose, so why would we terminate him?
Well,
He's already terminated.
If I may add, that he's agreed, his contract's already terminated, so I don't know why we're sending out a termination notice.
Yeah.
So we don't need to then, right? We could,
Yeah, just to be
Skip it.
clear, the contract terminated back last year.
Correct.
He continues to receive compensation because there was a provision in
Correct.
the agreement that so long as we were dealing with the same
Provider.
retailer or provider, that he would get paid. So I think what the wishes were to go
Let
out
it
for
expire on its
proposal.
term?
No, to go out for proposals for a consultant.
Okay, and that's the next item.
Okay,
I would just recommend take no action on 3A.
all right. Yeah, I mean, there's nothing to terminate. If we're wrong,
Okay.
tell us.
Well, no, let's go through the other items before you take.
Okay.
Okay. The second one is authority to publish a request for proposals for professional energy consulting services provider. Then the approval of exhibits A and B, scope of and services requirements and evaluation criteria. with modifications. I sent those out also to you for your review. And of course, the last approval would be through legal counsel on the form of agreement especially, and any provisions that we need to update.
Motion to approve 3B.
We have a motion to approve, give authority to publish. Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
So C is what is critical now, before you go back to A.
All right?
We know that right now, if this is going to happen,
What is going to happen?
if we're going to go out on consulting services,
Okay.
we need, and I recommend that we need either a consultant or some other option. Our current RFP for energy is dated. There's new terminology. There are new provisions that need to be incorporated. I don't feel that either I or Mr. Cruz can be sure that that RFP is in line with today's market or requests. So I was going to suggest item 2, and I highly recommend that we delay the RFP for the electric energy provider until we award and engage a professional energy consultant. I think Commissioner Eddy had suggested that at one point. I feel that a good consultant is going to really try and get us the best, base energy contract we can get.
I'm confused. I thought at the meeting that we actually talked about, we didn't have to RFP this, and that there were co-ops or abilities
No, we're going
get into-
we're going to send requests for proposal to aggregation pools and co-ops. But the consultant needs to write the RFP to submit to these energy providing pools.
Why is, sir, go ahead. Well, why is it on here? If we had already talked about it last meeting, that we were gonna wait till the consultant came on board and then send out the RFP.
Okay, because there was no vote on it, it was a discussion item.
Oh.
Well, but is time of the essence?
Time is of the essence. I always thought it was,
Right.
but I have spoken to other people in the industry that are not participating in this, and their overwhelming responses to me were a good consultant is going to be able to achieve the best for the county. I think alone,
Okay,
we're
but-
short, we're going to be.
But you're
at a
going
disadvantage.
back to the previous question. My current question is time of the essence, meaning time of the essence by the time we select a retail provider, okay? When is that
I
target
think
date?
I laid a timeline out for you. I thought it was end of August, we would bring it to you to rank, and then a week later, we can have a contract
Well,
negotiated.
August is just around the corner.
Correct, so that's why I want authority today, so I can,
So for
we can
us,
advertise.
our contract for our energy expires August 31st?
No,
No,
November 30th.
Okay, so November 30th is when we have to
Renew.
We need a
go
new
into
provider.
a
We need
contract.
a new provider.
And how
For-
long would the research or phase of the process take? So if we were to start in October, in 2 months, we would have enough time to decide on the energy
We're
provider?
certainly going to have to. That's,
No, my question
yes, we
is-
will have enough
okay,
time.
Is 2 months enough time?
Yes,
Okay. So then we would need to have a consultant by the end of September.
We need a consultant by the first week in September, which is what my goal is.
Well,
Because I think by
I
the end.
thought you told us that 2 months, that we had a consultant and get whatever request of whatever you're requesting for, you told me that 2 months was sufficient.
For the consultant to effect a new contract for you, yes. For us to get a consultant, I think we can do it in the 6 weeks. That's why I gave you a timeline of no later than the second week in September, but I'm hoping the first.
I'm not good at asking questions. What do you all want to do?
I'm sorry if I confused you. Right now, I'm
I'm
asking.
working backwards, I'm working backwards, Marty.
Okay.
We're gonna need an agreement by December 1st with somebody to provide us.
Correct.
Okay, so I'm asking you, how much time will it take us to arrive at that decision? You told me 2 months.
Yes, sir.
That's what you told me.
Yes, sir.
You haven't changed your mind?
No, sir.
Okay, so now we're in October 1st, or we're in September 1st.
Well, we're trying, if we can get a consultant on board by no later than second week in September, they've got 10 weeks.
Okay, so that
And I
answers,
mean, that's really pushing it, but 10 weeks, yes,
Plenty.
for the consultant.
I think that's plenty of time.
Now, you had also brought to my attention that there's other options out there under the government code for maybe going with a nonprofit aggregation pool, in which embedded in the pool, they go out and secure through an aggregation, they'll aggregate for us, and there's a small fee for the nonprofit types. My concern is that as I read the information, we would be getting a bridge contract because they're not going to aggregate again until, I think it's 2021. I don't know that we could go out and secure better than what we have now under that bridge. So that would also be a gamble, what they would offer us.
But we haven't made any decision, we don't know which one to make.
No, I'm just telling you, you did bring that to my attention, and I was giving some very good research by Ms. Hilda, and I was just telling you
Have we taken action on 3C?
on.
No.
On two, to delay, one, I'm not recommending. C1, I am not recommending.
Well, we took action on 3B.
Right,
Only.
but not C.
Okay, so then I make a motion to approve C2. Is that right?
To delay?
And we have to go back to.
Oh, yeah, delay until we have the consultant on
We have a
board.
consultant.
But why do we have to take action on delay?
I don't know.
Well, I just wanted to remember, there's two options. Do we release it on our own or delay? That's all I needed direction on.
Because
That's
she
why
was
the
ready to
action.
send it out last meeting. I think that's why she's.
I was, yeah, I thought we wouldn't have enough time, but I have made other calls,
Just
more
for her
research.
clarification.
I just don't think that alone we
We're gonna
stand
get
as
the
good a
consultant on
chance.
board, have him or she fix our proposal and then send it out ASAP.
So hold on. So I understand that we also have this C1, which indicates to, cooperative awarded vendors, aggregation pools. Don't they have consultants on staff already?
Not unless you join through the government code one of these aggregation pool nonprofits. It's a process.
But if we send out requests for proposals, we can, I believe that we could also do what you guys are talking about and not go with them and go with somebody
Well,
else.
Yeah, what she's saying is very simple. All we say is, we want to do this, so now we qualify to be part of the aggregation pool. So it's a very simple process, I think.
It requires some commissioners' court action, certainly.
That's pretty easy, if we're doing it now.
No, it actually calls for a record. There's different forms, there's different things that would have to be
We
placed on
put it in the
commissioners' court.
agenda,
I would have to put it on the agenda.
and then we take action.
Okay.
I mean, to me,
But for now-
we do that every other week.
Commissioner, to your question, I'm just asking the option you wish to go to, and I believe Commissioner Eddy has opted, let's do two and wait for you to have your consultant on board.
Did you make a motion?
I did.
Second.
Okay.
I think that's what you
Just to
said.
make sure that we all remember the motion.
I made a motion to move forward with 3C2.
To delay.
Okay, and we have a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
And so on A, we need no action, Mr. Crane?
That's correct.
No action. All right, going on to item 4 is requesting authority for Valdeguerra County Executive Officer to sign and submit federal excise tax exemption certificate for 2019 as requested by vendor Rush Truck Centers.
Move for approval.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
And item 5 is presentation of the awarded contract with the sole bid received to Lumatech Lighting Services for roadway lights, fixtures, and maintenance, subject to receipt of the $12.95.
Move for approval.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Item 6 is requesting authority to advertise an approval of procurement packet as attached hereto for Type D hot mix limestone only.
So move.
Second.
All those in favor say aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Precinct 1 requesting exemption from competitive bidding requirements, Texas Local Government Code 262024A for a professional service.
So move.
Second.
Have a motion and a second to approve. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Presenting the grid from the pool of qualified engineering firms being Meldon and Hunt, 9533, Fulcrum Services, 9366, and Alpha Infrastructure, 97. Does the court wish to rank them in the order of their scores?
So move.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
And C is requesting authority for the purchasing department to commence negotiations with the number 1 ranked firm of Alpha Infrastructure.
Move for approval.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Item 2 is requesting approval to purchase the following heavy equipment through the county's membership through the TASB Buy Board Cooperative under contract number as stated. This is with requisition 396408 Anderson Machinery for $220,000, and it is a recycler.
Move for approval.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Item 3 is presentation of the sole bid received for the purpose of award and approval of contract to the responsible vendor meeting all specifications. This is for Precinct 1 hauling of millings to terra firma material.
Move for approval.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Item C1, Precinct 2, acceptance and approval to execute the AIA Guaranteed Maximum Price Amendment Number 2 between Hidalgo County and Erickson Construction, Precinct 2, Las Milpas Park Youth Facility.
So move.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Item 2, authority to advertise and approval of procurement packet, subject to TxDOT's written notice of release of federal funding prior to the distribution of packets to interested vendors and parties that may prompt the changing of the applicable dates for Dicker Road reconstruction project.
Move for approval.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Item 3 is acceptance and approval of supplemental agreement 1 for services under work authorization 3 through contract number 229 with B2Z Engineering with an estimated cost increase of $10,386.62 for Precinct 2's North San Juan Park Swimming Pool project.
Move for approval.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Item 4 is approval of work authorization 2 with an estimated cost of $19,300 as submitted by Quintanilla Headley and Associates to provide professional services for Precinct 2 All-Inclusive Park.
So move.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
D1, Precinct 3, requesting approval to purchase the following equipment through the county's membership through Buy Board Cooperative Contract for the 3 listed, a tractor, a loader, and a flex wing rotary cutter with the requisitions noted.
So move.
Second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Precinct 4, E1A, recommending to take actions to cease negotiations with no AIA document finalized or presented to court for approval with the number 1 ranked firm of the Warren Group in connection with the design and construction of Brewster Park, located near intersection of US 281 and FM 107. That's incorrect. It is Brewster Park. And to cancel same with the original project was proposed by the previous administration and present Commissioner wishes to take time to consider, re-examine the concept, size, and scope of the project.
Move for approval.
Second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
B is approval to send official notice to the other 2 ranked firms as well as the number 1 on the circumstances surrounding the canceling of the project at this time.
Move for approval.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Item 2 is requesting approval on-call professional services agreement with Go ERO International architects as it pertains to architect services for Precinct 4.
Move for approval.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Item F1, requesting authority to purchase 2 Chevrolet Tahoe pickups for Constable 5 through the county's cooperative membership through the Goodbye contract in the amount of $67,074.50 through the requisition, and another one for $32,766.25 through the requisition posted.
So moved.
Second.
All these are pre-budgeted, correct?
They bought, yes.
All those in favor say aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
G1 for IT, requesting authority to purchase network equipment for the new Network Operations Center from Insight Public Sector Incorporated, total of $122,676.94 through our participation under the DIR TSO contracts.
Move for approval.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Item H1 under Budget Management, requesting approval to enter into 21 lease agreements for the term of 60 months, each with awarded vendor Enterprise Fleet Management through Hidalgo County's membership through the TIPS Cooperative awarded contract. Estimated total for the remainder of the year would be $46,713.56.
Move for approval.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Item B would be requesting approval for Mr. Valdeguerra to sign as an authorized signee as previously approved through agenda item 63-620.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
I-1 is under Colonia Access Program, Precinct 4, requesting acceptance and approval of Certificate of Construction Completion for Ware Country Subdivision as submitted by Castle Enterprises LLC.
Move for approval.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
And B is in acceptance and approval of payment of application, which is the final retainage release in the amount of $3,963.87 for Castle Enterprises.
Move for approval.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
J1, Sheriff's Department, acceptance and approval of work authorization 2, estimated cost of $32,097.76 is submitted by project engineer B2Z Engineering as to provide preliminary design and construction services for the Hidalgo County Sheriff's Detention Barracks project.
Move for approval. Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
And then B, pursuant to the contract with B2Z, Article 14, a request and approval for the engineer to permit the subcontracting of Sentinel Research and Consulting to provide document review and research and analysis of the Texas Commission of Jail Standards for that same project.
Move for approval.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Pursuant to Article 2.04 of the current agreement between Hidalgo County and K2 Towers 2 LLC for the lease of tower space FM 1925 to Ruth Rhodes. This is to issue the 30-day notice of termination as the county has just awarded it and awaits execution of the new lease for tower space for which a transition to a new site will commence.
Move for approval.
Is there a second?
Second.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Under K1, countywide recommendation by the purchasing department for commissioners not to exercise the county's sole and final one-year option to extend the current agreement for armored car services with Rochester Armored Car Company Incorporated.
Is that the one that lost the,
We're having, commissioners, we're dealing with a situation with our current vendor. And so with that being said, I'm working with the appropriate individuals with respect to that issue.
move for approval.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Item B would be pursuant to the action just taken. We ask that the sole option to extend the current agreement with Rochester for additional 60 days grace period extension. This is to have no lapse in service, but at the same time to work with all appropriate user departments, including legal counsel, to create a new draft specification packet for the court to review and accept.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
2 is presentation of the qualified responsible vendor submitting the lowest and best bid for the purpose of award with a contract request for Type D hot mix asphalt gravel only. That's through commencing August 27th, 2019.
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Item 3, presentation of the qualified responsible vendor submitting the lowest and best bid, and approval of contract for bottled water services through project number 123, commencing 8/30/19.
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Health and Human Services, L1, acceptance and of submitted proposal and approval to award job order contractor ERCON LLC through Hidalgo County's membership with Bi-Board Cooperative Job Contract for the modification, repair, and installation of door access units for 7 clinics with the amount of $34,149.85 through purchase orders.
Move for approval.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Okay.
I want to move up item number 25. Thank you very much, Marty.
Thank you, Judge, Commissioners.
Judge, Commissioners, we do have.
Open forum.
Open forum, item 25, 3 participants. I will remind the audience to please respect the speaker's time at the podium. There's a 3-minute time limit, and I will advise when there is 1 minute. Our first presenter is Jerusalem Flores.
Yes, good morning, Judge and Commissioners. I'm here today to request property tax relief, not just for myself, but for the citizens of Hidalgo County. From what I have read, home ownership in this country is at an all-time low, and renting is at an all-time high. Is that what we are to become someday, renters in our own land? Okay. I have spoken to several employees of the appraisal district, and they have told me, they have educated me, that the property values have increased. And therefore, our property taxes have increased. Now, this increase can be described as dramatic and frightening. For example, in my case, I have a small home. You know, I went from 1,700 plus in 2017, 2018 it went up 1,900 plus, and then it went up again in 2019. I'm scheduled for $2,100, right? But anyway, I'm just asking if you could find a way to cut the tax rate as a remedy to these rising taxes. You know, somehow, if you could somehow talk about that in your meetings and just find a way to cut the tax rate and just help us, keep our homes. This is runaway taxation. That's what it is. And please take this serious. And I know there's a lot of needs out there, but like I said, are we going to become a nation of renters here? You know, my parents always told me to own your home, own your home. And that's what I did. I actually paid out my house. But now I feel like I don't own it because all these taxes, you know? And my home is paid off. So please consider that in your discussions, lowering the tax rate, since I can't do anything about the values of the property. So thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Next presenter is Ms. Fern McClarity.
Freezer's on again today. Hidalgo County population, I think we have 40% that are under the poverty rate right now. And we have 2 things here. I would like the county needs an account to be open for the elderly citizens who can't pay their taxes on their homes. They're just about to lose them. Y'all like to give raises, you like to hire people, but there are people out there that are losing their homes, just like that gentleman said. And I see a lot of apartment buildings and stuff that are going up. But the people that have worked hard and put all their heart in their homes, every time y'all are spending or not reducing the tax rate and the property values, these people are losing just a little bit more. So we're asking for an account to be open, so maybe we can help some of these. We look and see and try to keep them from losing their homes. Second, an account to be open for the elderly vets. We had a 95-year-old the other day from World War II that had no air conditioning, had bugs in the house, not much food. The home was falling down around him. We need to help this type of person. The county needs to have a heart. I don't know if y'all have one, but God, I hope you can find it. And have a heart to help us not raise the tax rate, to burden these people that I'm talking about and all taxpayers that are being taxed to death. As I said, the appraisal district values are up every year, but I know that y'all have the tax rate, so y'all could help there. And I would also like to ask about the election building. It still has rats, and there's still a lot of people that are sick in that building. Each one of y'all go back to your buildings, your offices, and everything's nice and clean and neat, but the elections office isn't. So I'm asking y'all to please do something about that. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Our last presenter is Ms. Marta Sanchez. Marta Sanchez. That's all we have, Judge.
Can I just make a quick
Oh,
announcement?
and
I'd like to
Commissioner.
wish my daughter a very happy 14th birthday today. It
Well,
just happens to be today.
congratulations. Happy birthday.
Just wanted to take that
Second
privilege.
year of being a teen.
No, we're good. We're
When
good.
you
Just
have
wanted to wish her a
daughters-
happy birthday.
When you have daughters, and I had to save a lot of money, okay?
Yes, sir.
Judge, Commissioners, we do have closed session.
We're going to go to closed session pursuant to Chapter 551 of Texas Government Code, Section 551.071, 551.072. We'll be discussing several items in closed session. Any action to be taken will be taken in open session when we return. I have a motion to retire to closed
So
session.
moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Okay, we're back from executive session. I think everybody's here. Do we have any action items to
Judge,
take on the
Commission- Yes.
closed session?
Judge, Commissioners, under open session, let me go here real quick. Under open session 28A, real estate acquisition appropriation, saying there's no action to be taken today. 24B, pending and or potential litigation, there's no action to be taken today. 28C, pending and or potential litigation, DOL, case number 1879689. Judge, Commissioners, I would recommend the proposed settlement in DOL case number 1879689. And if I could have a motion and a second as to the proposed settlement in that case number.
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Item 28D, pending and or potential litigation, J, and for the record, J0656-18, J0256-17, J0269-17, J0547-18, J0143-19, J0323-17, K in all cases, in all of those respectively. I'd like to refer back to item 27A, requesting exemption from competitive bidding requirements under Texas Local Government Code, Section 262-024A4, professional service for the provision of legal services representation in connection with legal matters.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
And 27B, engagement with the firm of Flores and Torres for the provision of legal services representation in connection with legal matters, and authority to submit letter of engagement subject to compliance with House Bill 1295, specifically open session item 28D, the case numbers that I mentioned earlier.
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Item 28E, cause number C0561-18-I, Rosa Saldivar versus Hidalgo County and Juan Arenas. Judge, Commissioners, I will ask the court to entertain a motion in settlement of this case with a dollar value of $47,500.
Move for approval.
Second. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Item 28F, claim of Emilia Vasquez. There's no action to be taken today. And then, Judge, Commissioners, we have one pending item, if we could refer back to item
Item 24A.
24. So 24A1 and 2, there's no action to be taken today. And item 24B, Judge Commissioners, you have discussion, consideration, and action authorizing 30-day notice of termination to the law firm of Atlas Hall and Rodriguez.
Move for approval?
Is there a second? Second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Okay. Judge Commissioners, we do have a workshop scheduled for next week, a budget workshop, and as I am doing now, I will have a consent agenda for approval of bills and any specific court action item that we would need to undertake, but I will get with each individual commissioner and the judge for that.
I will have an agenda.
Yes, sir.
Move to adjourn.
Is there a second? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Meeting is adjourned.